Annyeonghaseyo. I'm Demarcia.
I'm Ariel.
And we're
Soju for Two.
Okay, so this is going to be our review of Sunny Happiness.
Yes.
And this was one that every time I tried to tell her, I was like, oh, go watch Sunny Happiness. And I couldn't remember what it was called because it sounds so weird.
It's also called, like, Love is like a sunny day.
Yeah, that makes more sense in English, but, you know, whatever. So this is a Taiwanese drama.
And it is Taiwanese because on a lot of channels, like Vicky and stuff, it'll say Chinese. So,
I mean, we understand the whole China-Taiwan
because the language is...
Yeah, they're both speaking Mandarin, and we know Taiwan, like, what its relationship is with China, but it is Taiwanese, not Chinese.
Yes. Okay, so the main characters. So we have Mikey plays Zhang Yunji, and then Janie, I don't know how to say her name, Chong plays Fang Yongyong, and then Yi Ying Feng plays Yang Yun Chao.
Okay. So let's go into the main characters here. Now, we want to first of all say that, obviously Mike Key's in it, and if we just did a review of The Devil Beside You, which
got a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. And we decided to watch this, and I think also, like, it was really cute. This is several years after...
This is 2011. So.
Yeah, so several years after Devil Beside You, and Mikey, I think, again, is doing a great job with this. Now, this felt like, to us, a kind of a combination of other things that we've watched, and definitely, we're going to tell you some names. So if you like some of these dramas, I would say give this one a try, just to begin with. So, Full House, Stars Falling from the Sky, and what we just finished watching, I Do, I Do.
It feels like a combination
of all three
elements
of those. Yeah. So if we go into the characters, the main female lead in this is like your typical, you know, poor, working hard, awesome character.
It has a hint of the Cinderella story to it.
It does.
And that's sort of like the basis for the show. And they even like come out and say it several times.
You know, working really hard. And I think that's what's great about her. And then he is like this jerk who, you know, has obviously been hurt, and he's like a total stickler, but he's really wealthy, and he's her boss. You know, we've seen
the one you love.
Yeah. But we like it.
That's why it feels to me like Stars Falling from the Sky, like the show. But also, he looks surprisingly like the guy from Stars Falling from the Sky.
So if you like that, if you need that reason, there you
go for it.
Okay, so with chemistry, I mean, I thought there was great chemistry here. And you have other people, like, with love triangle. I mean, there's totally a love triangle going on. But again, like, this love triangle is with the brother.
Yes.
So that adds a whole nother level.
And the brother, to me, seems so much younger.
He does.
And that's why it's sort of interesting, the way the dynamic between the two of them.
I think this one is well developed as a story. You know, there's all these side characters who are involved with the leads and have their own interesting stories. I mean, I liked the brother for his own reason. And I would like to watch a good drama with him.
Because his character was really complex because he was sort of like half, like, really manipulative. Yeah. And then on the other hand, he was like this kid who was really sort of in love with her.
Yeah.
And
so they were pen pals. I mean, it's very interesting how that plays out. So the love triangle in here is a really compelling story, I think.
Yeah, and surprisingly, even though it had like a marriage contract, which is a lot like Full House, it seemed really fresh to me. It felt entirely different.
Because I think what happened in it was very different. Now, Full House, I know this is very popular drama. Most people have seen it because Rain is in it. But that came out in 2005. Yeah. And if you watch this one, I feel like it's a little more adult version of the Rain version. Because I think that though, you know, we know in the Rain version, Full House, they obviously, you know, they get married, but there's a lot of uncertainty, which you have in this, but then you also have, like, sort of the realistic issue of, like, them also having sex, even though they got married in a contract. And, I mean, not that that's, like, a common occurrence, but it still happens. So we were always kind of a Full House. We thought it was a little unrealistic that they never had, like,
okay, you're living with Rain for a year, you never...
so never had a relationship, you know. So it is interesting. It seems a little bit more, like, maybe more realistic. I don't know how realistic any of this could be, but anyways... So it was interesting for us, you know, to see that. And mistaken identity, misunderstandings, I mean, obviously there's a ton of those. Like,
I think the biggest misunderstanding is that neither of them can admit that they actually love each other.
Yeah, and I think that's the Full House syndrome, again. Like, it's that, like, oh, this person loves me, I'm gonna back out of this in order to protect them. I mean, it's constantly occurring. Yeah. Now, something that happens in this drama that doesn't happen in Full House or anything is she gets pregnant with his baby, and then they have to make their situation known, and they have to make their kind of wedding valid, and so that everybody knows that it really was true.
Because his whole dream is to be a dad, so he's like on board for the pregnancy.
And he also has a child from a previous relationship, so that love triangle gets played out. I mean, there's so much going on
so maybe there's like a hint of Oh My Lady in there too.
I don't know. There's a lot going on here.
This is everything we love rolled up into one.
Well. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to Bad Guy Turned Good. Obviously, he's like a bad guy in the beginning, but not really. I mean, he's just more like he's been hurt by love in the past. And
he's like a really like jerk of a boss, you know, but
we love him.
you know from the second you meet him, you're going to love him.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, it's not like it's the most, I don't know what might happen, but there's lots of things happening. Yeah. So it's compelling, and it's not like, it never feels boring when you're watching this.
And you, like, honestly want to watch it all in one sitting. So it's great. Piggyback ride?
Rides. I don't think there's any piggyback rides.
Oh, no, the brother gives her a piggyback ride.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so not main character.
But it's there. Kisses.
Yes.
Definitely. So, like, in the first episode, you see the first, like, there's a bed scene. Yeah. And you have the big kiss. And then you have a kiss at the end.
There's a couple kisses in it. I mean, again, I think, like, because there's, like, some other situations and it's not that many kisses. But there are some good kisses in it.
Yes, definitely. Fashion. Okay, so there's great fashion in this. It was only a couple years ago. And I think the best fashion in the whole show is the younger brother.
Yes.
He's wearing...
It's more men's fashion in this one because, you know, the main female lead is, again, that Cinderella story. Yeah. You know, the other second female lead, she does a good job, so I think, with her clothing, because she's supposed to be, like, a newscaster.
Oh, yeah, and then the other girl, the third girl in the show, she's supposed to be a designer. Yeah. Her fashion wasn't that memorable, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's interesting people who are...
But the men's fashion was great.
Was definitely
the brother wears a lot of, like, ties.
It was interesting. I always see, when I see that, I think of, like, it must be really fashionable to do that look, because I think it's hard to pull that off. Yeah. And not look, like, a little weird. And he does a great job with it, so... And obviously, Mikey looks amazing, so...
Whatever he's in.
Okay, so music for this. So the music for me wasn't that memorable.
There's, like, piano scenes and...
I mean, you have a theme song. It was just more... The music... You don't need the music for this one, right?
No.
Okay, so let's rate this one. So I'm giving this a 9.5. Only because I just saw The Devil Beside You, and I think that, like, it'd be really hard to top that. Yeah. But I think it's really awesome. There isn't much I would give wrong with this. I just think, like, how can I give a 10 to, like, something that's perfect? And this is, like, it's not that it has flaws, but it just didn't have that kind of connection for me, but it was still excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it 9.5 too. And I need to mention, like, there are just so many emotional moments in this show that felt, like, really, I don't know, it felt very realistic. And then there's, like, the ending is kind of corny, but I felt like there were so many. To be that way, it did. You needed, like, a happy tie-up because it was really, like, emotional roller coaster. But I think it was great. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you like shows like Full House, when Rain doesn't really, like, emotionally connect to the
when
show,
there's difficulty for a long time until there's happiness, watch this.
This is a great show. So watch it. Please watch it. And check out our other review of My Key.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.